valorada del món.
I el 80% d'aquest valor hi era aquí quan vas arribar.
No és veritat.
El 80%. I tant que és veritat.
Això, al futbol, has d'entendre que no només han d'estar els jugadors en el futbol base, que sí, i que els ha treballat molt bé a l'Estanco.
Correcte.
El que sí que s'ha de tenir és la decisió per posar-lo en el primer equip.
Exacte, això és obra
del director esportiu i és obra del Deco. És obra del director esportiu i és obra del Flick.
Bueno, pues ahí estaba la respuesta también de Joan Laporta poniendo en valor a Deco, que bueno, es que la realidad es que Deco ha sido el que ha renovado a toda la plantilla. Esto es una realidad, es una evidencia. Por mucho que lo niegue Font, que es cierto que muchos jugadores ya estaban. Hombre, solo faltaría, evidentemente. No, ya habían nacido todos. No es que Deco lleve aquí 20 años, ¿no? Ya haya visto nacer a Lamine Yamal. Pero es verdad que la renovación de la plantilla, y yo creo que hay que aprender a diferenciar entre lo que puede ser una consolidación de una plantilla y lo que es heredar. O sea, estaremos de acuerdo en que evidentemente la plantilla es muy similar. De hecho, es que el propio Laporta lo utiliza como argumento. Cuando le dice cuando contesta, por ejemplo, a alguien como Xavi, dice que Flick con los mismos jugadores ha conseguido más logros. Entonces, decir que no es la misma plantilla es contradictorio también. Ahora, poner en valor el trabajo de Deco en el último año con el tema de las renovaciones, creo que también es que es un hecho que Víctor Font no puede negar. Por eso decía, ¿no?, que bajo mi punto de vista tengo la sensación que ni Joan Laporta reconoce errores, pero es que Víctor Font es incapaz de reconocer aciertos que también ha tenido Joan Laporta. Y en este punto, pues, la actualidad pesa mucho más. Y la actualidad es un Barça ilusionante con Hansi, y esto es lo que tiene como baza Joan Laporta. Por eso creo que, la verdad, me cuesta pensar en un resultado sorprendente el domingo en las elecciones. Lo digo así, pero bueno, es mi opinión y sé que a muchos no os gusta y bueno, pues es lo que hay, ¿no? Pero yo creo que es que aquí en este punto electoral o dices lo que la gente quiere escuchar o te dirán que no tienes razón, porque es así, como en todo, mayoritariamente, pero especialmente en este panorama más electoral. Más momentos del debate de ayer. Más momentos del debate de ayer. Esto sobre Hansi Flick y la continuidad del proyecto, etc. Me pareció interesante lo que comentó Joan Laporta sobre la gestión del Spotify Camp Nou en cuanto a bonos, etc. Porque la verdad, no le había escuchado mucho hablar del tema. Y ayer hizo una serie de afirmaciones bastante significativas que son interesantes de recuperar.
El 80% serà per socis abonats. D'aquests, hi haurà 5.000 més que haurem incorporat de la llista d'espera. I seran els abonaments més econòmics de tots els clubs grans d'Europa. I no apujarem els abonaments, això ja està previst, el cost de la vida. I a més, com deia abans, serà per tots els partits i totes les competicions. La ubicació, que tant la critiques, ja està previst que sigui una ubicació gairebé similar a la que tenen ara, perquè el camp creix i, evidentment, hi haurà 5 a la dreta, 5 a l'esquerra, seients de dalt amunt, però no tindran una altra visual, una altra panoràmica que la que tenien. Això està estudiat. Doncs hi havia una cosa que deia el senyor Font respecte a les entrades dels socis. Ara que estem recuperant l'economia del club, que ens hem dedicat 5 anys a salvar el club, ara podem adoptar segons quines mesures. I nosaltres ho compliquem menys. En aquest cas, la nostra proposta és que els socis, que no siguin abonats, tindran un 50% de descompte en les entrades. Això és el que farem, si els socis ens fan confiança aquest diumenge.
Bueno, pues son propuestas, la verdad, muy interesantes. Que esto también es verdad que en campaña se promete de todo al socio en cuanto a ir al estadio. Y después hay que verlo. Pero Joan Laporta creo que no lo había hablado y me pareció interesante que lo comentase.
The spot for Barça presidential interviews. Welcome back to the show. This one is going to be a live stream, and we're going to be tuning into the Jijantes interview with President. Here we show respect. The spot for respect. President Laporta and the not president, Víctor Font. They're going over the final debate that they had last night here. I think it was on TV3, if I'm not mistaken. But primarily, we're going to be tuning in. So we're going to be going over the statements, the big talking points from the debate last night. It was the final debate between the two presidential candidates, Laporta, Joan Laporta one end, Victor Font on the other. And we're going to be tuning into the final interview of Joan Laporta with Gerard Romero from Jijantes. Hopefully, they're going to be kind to this humble little channel and I won't get hit with the copy strike. They rip off the Barça 1 stream all the time, and I don't think they get flagged. This channel does get flagged, but I want to give you the goodness and I want to give you guys the inside scoop, especially for all of the international Barça fans from around the globe that are maybe not privy to exactly what is going on here. Like I said, today, the final day of public statements. Tomorrow, Saturday, will be a day of reflection, as they call it. And then on Sunday, in the game, the home game at the Spotify Camp Nou in La Liga against Sevilla, that's where El Soci, the socios, the members, will cast their votes to who will be the president for the next upcoming 6 years. And who knows, perhaps even longer. So without any further ado, I'm going to share my screen here and see if we can get a little sneak peek of what is happening on the Jijantes stream. Let me do this right, not this way. And I say this because, what did I want to say? Here we go. Drop your comments, of course, in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching from. If you have any questions with regards to this presidential election, God, don't do these. There we go. Is that more or less good? You can see that, right? You always can follow that. Yeah, let me know where you're watching from, of course. Let me know if you have any questions as well. And in the meantime, hopefully, YouTube will be kind with us. And I can stream this interview seamlessly, flawlessly, without any hiccups or having to suffer copyright strikes and bans. Because once again, if you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button. Some of you are still having problems hitting the bell notification for whatever reason. YouTube seems to have it out with me, and I'm not able to get new followers to hit the bell notification. So make sure in the comment section to let me know if you have any issues with that. This Gigante member told the audience just now that the interview will start at around 12-ish, 12 p.m. It's now 4 minutes past noon. So it should be shortly where we can see President Joan Laporta sit down with Gerard Romero for this final interview. So thank you again for being here on D-Spot. D-Spot for Barça fans. D-Spot, we got D-Spot for churros as well. There's Gerard Romero. If you're not yet part of the Patreon community, make sure that you head on over to patreon.com/DSpot to show your support for this channel. We've got exclusive content that only goes up on the Patreon page. Yesterday, I dropped my reaction to the absolute another Juanito show, the shit show. It was Real Juanito against Manchester City, very shitty Manchester City that had no answers to the 3 goals that a player that should have been playing that game, Federico Valverde, scored an impressive and memorable hat-trick at that, but he shouldn't even been there. What was he even doing? He had no business being there. He had no business being there. Here it is, Romero. 5 minutes past 12 p.m. and Romero is taken to the stage. And next to him is the big man. The big man. The man of the hour. Joan Laporta for his final interview ahead of the elections, the votes that will start on Sunday. So I'm just going to give you some translations on the trot. And like I said, drop your comments. Hit me with the likes as well. Let the algorithm know that this is the place for Barça fans. Share all your impressions. Share your thoughts, your questions. But also the likes. Feed that algorithm, that goodness. It is the YouTube game. So that's all of the formalities done. All the cheese that I needed to get off of my chest is out there. Let's listen to Laporta. It'll be in Catalan. Said he wants to continue with this sporting project. He wants to finish the Palau, Espai Barça, the Palau as well, Spotify Camp Nou. He's very grateful for all the Barça members. They've given him the confidence so far to save Barça. And they're going to continue on this path.
Com està la vela? La vela, que és la gossa del president Laporta.
La gossa, la vela, ha fet 3 anys.
Romero asking about his dog. So I'm gonna. You have to excuse me while I just get stuff organized here. I'm assuming that his dog's gonna be good. I'm not gonna be really listening into these types of questions. But I'm gonna instead ask you to continue to hit me up with the likes, folks. A couple of people, few people on this stream. Surely we can get a like or two, or a comment as well, and a subscribe.
I bé, cada nit quan arribava a casa després dels actes i tal, me'n vaig a fer una volta amb ella.
Molt bé.
Still talking about his dog, how after each event, he takes his dog out at night.
Menja carn,
Menja carn, menja...
Give me a sign of life, YouTube. Let me know that you're out there. Don't let a man hang all by himself. Don't leave me hanging out. It's Laporta. It's Gerard Romero. It's his final interview on Jijantes. The topic of conversation, his dog.
Està tranquil·la, el boix el tenim a S'Agaró, controlant les gallines i les cabretes, i el cabró.
Les gallines i les cabretes, exacte, que en tinc ja 11.
I guess he's living out in a masía on a farm somewhere. He's got chickens, hens.
Diguem-ne, les 6 competicions en les que juguem aquest any.
Molt bé.
Una es deia Jeddah, que a més ja té una victòria important, que va ser la de la Supercopa. Després hi ha una que es diu...
What did you guys think of the game against Newcastle? Let me know as well. Newcastle won, Barça won, Lamine Yamal, cold as ice. Make sure that you check out my reaction. That has been up. I gave you a live stream and an edited version. So hit up the views on my previous videos as well. Let's get serious, Romero. Let's get into the thick of things here.
Si diumenge vostè guanya, la propera entrevista la vull fer a S'Agaró perquè jo vull conèixer les gallines i tota...
That if he wins on Sunday, he hopes to have the first interview over in S'Agaró. I guess that's where Laporta has one of his houses. Again, the topic's not really serious, so I'm going to keep promoting this channel a little bit here before they get into the serious talking points. Watch the video, my reaction of the game against Newcastle. A thriller, one that really felt like a win, but did leave some concerning signs. We got absolutely dominated as the Magpies got the better of us for the vast majority of that game. We were lucky to walk away with a draw that sets up, of course, a very juicy second leg in the Spotify Camp Nou, where surely we can take care of business and win and meet Atlético de Colchoneros in the quarterfinals.
I rompre en el Barça en un curt període de temps. I tot el que hem fet és per ells. Hem fet un estadi nou, hem
Laporta now
i pagat part del deute. El que queda per pagar de l'estadi es paga sol amb els...
Talking about his achievements, the new stadium.
Que és per ells, perquè
the new club, the club is for the members. They want to win, they know what it takes to win. They don't pay any attention to the catastrophic and apocalyptic statements of Victor Font. We need Barça. The socios have to come out in big numbers, in masses. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Daniel, for your comment. I will get to all your comments at the end of this interview.
la seva trajectòria final i que abans vostè poder era una mica més bel·ligerant amb els arbitratges i que el culer el nota tou.
Home,
ara no, en campanya s'ha deixat anar, però quan estava a la presidència anava una mica amb el fre de mà.
Romero saying that he was not as forceful in defending Barça against the refereeing injustices. During the campaign he was, but while he was president he was a little bit more reserved.
Amb tot el que és la campanya de desprestigi institucional que s'ha fet des de Madrid i la caverna.
Laporta talking about the smear campaigns from the capital.
El fet que el Madrid hagi volgut extendre el sumari per justificar el que ho vaig dir, el bodrio de la seva televisió es dedica.
Talking about Real Madrid adding fuel to the fire, trying to justify.
Van muntant tota aquesta mentida. És també d'aquells que difamen que algú queda, no?
Defamation campaigns, smear campaigns.
El que hem fet és, des
de
la presidència del Barça estant, home, amb els estaments recomposar el que és la relació.
Sí, però al final s'ha fet el que ha volgut el senyor.
We tried to
canvi el CTA. Ha fotut aquell Soto que no sabem què pinta.
Improve the institutional relations that we had with the Spanish Football Federation and La Liga.
Per què no ho diuen a Madrid?
Why don't you ever mention Madrid?
Que a mi m'agrada aquí som transparents, demòcrates, i doncs aquí...
I like to be democratic and transparent.
Tot es va amagant en l'interès d'alguns, no?
And over there, they serve the interest of one particular person.
Almenys, de moment, ara hi hagi una espècie d'examen de consciència i quan hi ha una errada almenys ho diuen, ens hem equivocat, es van equivocar amb la trepitjada amb el Condé. Ja vaig sortir i vaig dir, no em serveix de molt.
Puta madre, it's difficult for me to translate this.
És que deia jo,
this goes fast and I don't know what...
Perquè veus que una trepitjada que era claríssima, que aleshores no hagués pujat el gol al marcador i els punts no ens els han donat.
Li foten 15 dies a la nevera i prou.
Una cosa, i heu de saber, i els oients, el barcelonista desacomplexat, guanyador, tal, ja sabem que ens hem d'enfrontar a això. Ja sabem de què ens hem d'enfrontar a això i això no ho canviarem fàcilment.
Time out. A lot being said. Difficult for me to translate this on the trot, so bear with me. Now he's talking about the Barça follower, the culé, doesn't have any complexes. They know what it takes to win.
I l'única manera de combatre-ho...
And the only way to combat the smear campaigns, when we talk about contra todo y todos, the obstacles that we face...
Gerard, és guanyant bé, tenint un equip que enamora.
To continue to win, we have a great team.
Ells que són de la generació del Llamin, del Lamin, del Covarsí,
this generation of Lamin, Covarsí,
del Bernal, escolta,
Bernal, etc.
Que és el que il·lusiona avui en dia.
That are exciting players for the people.
El Barça, històricament, sempre hem de tenir un equip molt més potent que els altres per...
We've always had a team that was ahead of the rest. We shouldn't pay attention what tries to detract away, what take away from our achievements. He's saying now you're in pre-campaign mode.
Aquest no és el Laporta que coneixem, que segurament, perquè evidentment després les coses per darrere sabem com van, no? Però bé,
we know how things work behind the scenes.
Parlat i comentat. Parlava de la televisió del Real Madrid. Ostres, la televisió
Real Madrid TV.
Jo sóc el primer que estic a un mitjà com YouTube i com Twitch. I, evidentment, jo vull que seguim regant això perquè és molt important. Però també hi ha molt de soci que diu, ostres, aquell canal Barça que jo m'ho passava, que jo encenia la tele, m'asseia al sofà. Bueno, ara també ho pot fer amb el YouTube, però li costa, i tot i que la gent està fent el trasllat. Però recuperarem una mica el contingut del Barça. Va aparèixer Barça One, pum, va desaparèixer. Jo li deia, hòstia, jo recuperaria Jaume Marcet.
He's talking about ex-colleagues now. Jaume Marcet, Barça One. Are we able to recuperate Barça One? He talks about how the presence, the online presence, the media presence of Barça has been fading while Real Madrid TV continues to pump out poison. Who defends Barça's interest? He's saying, I do so from Twitch and here from YouTube. But what's going to happen with all of that?
La Laura Paricio, tots aquells grans professionals que
Laura Paricio.
Què podem fer
Laura,
a nivell comunicatiu, a xarxes i de la televisió?
Mira, a xarxes tenim 600 milions
online,
de seguidors.
60 million followers.
Tenim 240 milions de seguidors.
240 million followers.
A YouTube és 24 milions
YouTube, we have 24 million followers.
Però està desaprofitat, president.
But it's not being taken advantage of, says Romero.
Pot dir una cosa.
Let me say something.
Productions, que tenim aquí a Barça Vic,
Barça Productions.
veureu com desaprofitat, però mira, ja comença a donar resultats, perquè el contingut digital dels patrocinis ja factura 41 milions.
Compte, llavors compte.
Okay, numbers being thrown, 41 million being generated by the content from sponsors.
Falta una mica, falta un punch, falta un punch.
Saying that the punch is missing.
Després hi ha allà uns nanos que els veus i dius, ostres, som-hi, saps? Són una mica peix bullits, que està de moda, això.
Penseu que en breus hi haurà un llançament que us agradarà molt.
Ah?
Sí.
Exclusiva?
Jo crec que això...
Exclusiva. He says we're soon going to have some news that is going to be, that will please everyone with regards to the content creation.
I puguem desenvolupar tot això, no? Penseu que això són unes línies de negoci que hem ja encetat, que doncs, ha tingut la seva laboriositat i la seva complexitat tirant-les endavant, i ara, sota la direcció de...
Hit me up with your likes. Thank you, Daniel.
La directora de
Thank you all of you watching.
que està,
We're here translating Joan Laporta and Gerard Romero on the trot. His final interview.
Està treballant molt en aquest sentit. I estem molt il·lusionats perquè pensem, i ho he dit molts cops, que això és absolutament necessari pel futur. I tindrem,
Laporta saying that having a good media structure is absolutely essential and that there will be good news coming soon with regards to that. Maybe Barça 2. No more Barça 1, we go to Barça 2.
Quan tenies 7-8 anyets parlant amb aquell micròfon de Barça TV, i clar, això ara no ho tenim.
Ets un nostàlgic,
No, nostàlgic no soc.
Romero, going back to the Barça TV days, Laporta saying you're a very nostalgic person.
Jo començo a pensar que ara es porta una altra història, però ja m'agrada que siguis així, perquè
una mica.
jo és el que vivia.
Things have changed, now it's a different story.
Hem de donar-li un toc més modern, més actual.
We need to give it a more modern touch to our content creation, our content channel.
Presentarà coses. Si guanya.
So, new things coming.
L'1-1.
Promises.
I la gent és com, Romero, cada any ens enganyes perquè dius que estem a prop. Expliqui'ls, sisplau, per què vostès no han arribat a l'1-1? Perquè al final...
Why are we not yet on the 1-1 rule? This is interesting.
Perquè no hem volgut firmar amb CVC,
because we didn't want to sign with CVC, because we didn't want to sell Lamine.
Demanar una derrama als socis, perquè hem pensat que havíem de ser imaginatius, que havíem de ser creatius.
We wanted to be more imaginative, more creative, financial gymnastics being done.
I en aquest preferíem no fer tot això i mantenir el Lamine,
we wanted to keep Lamine.
No fer que els socis no es gratin la butxaca i a més, no firmar amb CVC perquè
so we didn't sign with CVC deal.
Una operació que era per mig segle.
Because it was a deal that was for half a century.
Preferit fer amb 6th Street, que ens
we wanted to go with 6th Street.
Ens ha pagat 688 milions.
We got 68 million, I think.
I això, tot el que et dic, ens hagués fet arribar a l'1-1. Ens hagués fet arribar a l'1-1, però és que a més...
And all that we did, we got to the 1-1 rule.
No us obsessionem amb l'1-1, perquè el que ens ha provocat...
We're getting to the 1-1 rule, but we shouldn't be obsessed to get to the 1-1 rule.
El no està a l'1-1, que ara estem a més molt a
14
milions.
We're 14 million away from getting to the 1-1 rule.
Si hem arribat a estar a menys 144 i ho hem aixugat, això doncs...
Però no ens ho digui, perquè ens posava el carmelet i ens el treia. I llavors la gent
era... Don't keep saying these things, these promises, because you say that, and then you take the caramelo and then you take the candy away from us.
Però parlem de transparència, però heu d'entendre
que
avui podem estar a 12 milions, però si resulta que ja no és el cas, perquè ja els hem renovat a tots, si ara tinguéssim que renovar a algun jugador, aleshores ja no estaríem a 12 quilos.
He's saying that the priority was as well to extend the contracts of all the players.
Doncs, a més el salari d'aquest jugador d'aquella temporada.
If we didn't do that,
I el cost amortitzar, no? Perquè seria una renovació i no hi hauria amortització en aquest sentit nova. Però el que us vull dir és que l'1-1 no és inalterable, és canviant, entens? Fluctua.
Això ens agrada molt aquesta paraula.
Us agrada? Flueix.
A vostè li agrada molt
fluir. No és el mateix.
Què li agrada, fluir o fluctuar millor a vostè?
A mi m'agrada més fluir, però en qualsevol cas la fluctuació és una realitat.
The fluctuation of I lost it. I wasn't.
Amb l'1-1, el que sí que...
I guess the parameters of the 1-1 rule.
Si el Deco, que està treballant amb això,
Deco is working on it.
Ha de fer algun retoc
To retouch the first team.
Plantejarà si guanyo les eleccions i aleshores podrem perfectament assumir qualsevol operació que ens plantegi el Deco.
Perquè sense faltar...
If I win the elections, we will have no problem meeting the requirements to make whatever transfer Deco deems necessary come the summer transfer market.
Respecte a la plantilla només faltaria, perquè ens els estimem tots del primer a l'últim, no? Però el president Laporta candidat, o expresident, com diuen alguns, que només ho fa per tocar els nassos, i ja ho sabem, no, perquè li vaig dir, dilluns li vaig dir, que és una falta de respecte, no, però ho és o no ho és? Dic, home, el senyor Gaspar no li diu president Gaspar, i el senyor Bartomeu, president...
He's talking about the fact that Font keeps insisting in calling Laporta ex-president. My rebuttal would be for Laporta. If I'm Laporta, I'm calling Font the nunca, no, never, ever president. But yeah, it's a piss take.
I el president Reina,
insignificant, an anecdote.
En Pau descansi, que avui tots estem...
Reina, ex-president Reina, passed away today, or yesterday, between yesterday and today.
Doncs ja no sé cap on anava, perquè ara...
He didn't know what he forgot his question.
Si podries dir un respecte a la plantilla i em vas a preguntar a veure si els jugadors, i em parlaràs de jugadors que potser poden revivar. Respecte a la plantilla actual.
Laporta. Sharper today than he was in the first debate with Font, huh? He remembers exactly what he wanted to say.
Però en Robert Lewandowski, que jo soc fan màxim, no podem renovar-lo un any més si no accepta les seves...
Wow. Romero cutting straight to the point. He's saying, Robert Lewandowski, we cannot waste the money on extending his contract. Let's see what he has to say.
Condicions que segurament li posaran unes condicions amables, però necessitem sang allà al davant.
L'admirem, va venir en un moment...
We admire Lewandowski, came at a difficult moment.
Vaig ser agraït amb el Ronaldinho, vaig ser agraït amb els jugadors...
Like I appreciated Ronaldinho's effort back in the day.
Ja no podien continuar. I sempre que he tingut l'oportunitat, els he donat un any més per agraïment al que havien fet al Barça, un Ronaldinho, per exemple.
He said, we appreciate the effort he made to stay here one more year, if I understood correctly.
I sempre que he tingut l'oportunitat, els he donat un any més per agraïment al que havien fet al Barça, un Ronaldinho, per exemple.
Why is he Ronaldinho?
El Robert Lewandowski, crec que si ell volgués quedar-se...
If Lewandowski wants to stay?
Va dir que ara, quan passi les eleccions, els dirà...
A veure, jo crec que mereix, si vol quedar-se, un any més.
One more year?
Crec que seria, fent un rol determinat...
We have to give him a specific role?
Però saps què li diran, no? Que com és tan amic de Pinisavi, per això el vol allargar. Això li diran.
Because you're friends with, ¿cómo se llama? Inzaghi, or not Inzaghi, but his agent name. That's why you're saying this.
Saps què passa? La gent pot dir el que vulgui. Jo conec la realitat.
People can say what they want. I know the reality.
Jo totes aquestes coses he anat de cara, sempre les he explicat.
I've always been open about it.
Amb el Piri Zahavi o el George Mendes, o ara amb la gent del...
Zahavi or Mendes, whichever agent.
Tant de bo aquesta amistat continuï, perquè ens ha representat que vingui el Robert Lewandowski.
We want this friendship to continue.
Un impacte com el del Robert, que va deixar el Bayern de Múnich per venir al Barça.
He gave up Munich, Lewandowski, to come here, and it had a big impact.
Després ha vingut el Hansi Flick, també.
After Hansi Flick came as well, because of my friendship with the agent, also with Mendes and Lamine.
El Dro allà al PSG.
We want to avoid Dro going to PSG.
Li va saber greu com va ser la cosa.
No, sí, perquè va ser amb traïdoria. Si arriba a tenir, per exemple, el George Mendes el Dro, que l'havia tingut, doncs no hagués passat això, entens? I Déu mos en guard que hagués tingut l'altre, el que se l'han portat al...
I thought Dro was on the... He's saying if Mendes would have been Dro's agent, this wouldn't have happened. I thought Dro was Mendes' player.
PSG hagués tingut el Lamine, perquè hagués fet la mateixa jugada. Ens havia dit, sí, no, el renovaré quan acumuleixi 18 anys, i després, pum, se l'emporta. Això...
He's saying QSG would have also stolen Lamine away from us. He would have pretended to renew his contract, but then, he would have disappeared without leaving money in the bank.
Aquestes punades traperes...
No estic d'acord, no estic d'acord.
No, perquè tu t'enamores de la gent també i no puc fer-hi
res. I don't agree. Romero says, Laporta says, you fall in love, you believe in the people too much.
Com a president del Barça penso que no ha estat bé. En el cas d'aquests agents que t'he dit, els bons, els que ens ajuden en un moment determinat...
Un apunt, no faci com fona i que no el deixava parlar. Un segon. Però en aquest cas, jo, posant-me a la part del jugador, puc entendre'l, que veient que hi ha l'acumulació de talent tan bèstia al mig del camp, vulgui marxar. Una altra cosa és que...
He's saying, okay, they're talking about Romero saying, I can understand why a player would look at his competition in the position, in this case in the midfield, and say, I have more opportunities elsewhere.
Vostè tingués l'acord i la paraula del seu representant per renovar i que després li fes la 13
It could be that the agent gives you his word that he will re-sign a contract, but then because of the player's wishes, the player ends up leaving. Anyway, it's,
Això sí que l'entenc.
M'ha sabut més greu, no per això, perquè, escolta, al cap i a la fi, hem aconseguit, amb la relació que tenim amb el Nasser ara actualment, amb el president del PSG, hem fet una operació de mercat, és a dir, no s'ha anat només per malgrat se'l volien emportar per la clàusula, s'ha anat per més diners, perquè ha intervingut el president del PSG i per mantenir unes relacions cordials amb el Barça ho ha fet, que li agraeixo molt.
So he's talking about how in the end we let the player go to PSG. They want to now maintain a good relationship with the club, so they agreed to pay a little bit more than his buyout clause. He's not talking numbers. I think instead of they could have got him for 6, they ended up paying Barça 8.5.
Des d'aquí. El que m'ha sabut més greu ha sigut pel Hansi.
What makes me feel bad, Laporta saying, is not so much for the player or for us, but for Hansi Flick.
Perquè el Hansi...
Va quedar molt tocat,
Home, perquè...
Because Hansi was really affected by his departure.
Perquè el Hansi li va donar a aquest jugador una dinàmica de primer equip.
Hansi brought him into the first team.
Jugadors que potser s'ho mereixien més perquè tenien
he was incorporating him little by little. And he was a player that had interiorized Barça. He understood what Barça stands for.
Per això, Perquè, a més, és un representant que, d'alguna manera, per la seva trajectòria barcelonista, sempre hem tingut un tracte especial i em va sonar apunyalar a trapera.
He said it was a backstab move in the end to Hansi Flick.
Ha anat cuidant en aquest noi i de cop i
volta
tothom ja tenia coll avall.
Però aquí ha de millorar tothom.
Però és que no vull estar parlant d'aquest tema,
estic d'acord.
Si vols que parlem d'això es farà avorrit.
Yeah, I don't know why they keep banging on about this topic. It's not interesting for the election.
I la gent marxarà. Però sí que crec que
players come, players go.
És un exemple per treballar millor de dir, ostres, hem de fer debutar un xaval que encara no té el contracte amb els 18 anys.
Good question. Romero saying, now in hindsight, should we allow a player to debut with the first team if the contractual situation agreements haven't been fully in place and the deal inked yet?
Una excepció, perquè ara ja s'ha canviat tot.
You're saying that was an exception, everything has changed now?
La dinàmica del primer equip que no tingui ja lligada tota el contracte. I amb aquest es va fer una excepció.
So they did an exception in that case?
Per lo pelat. I aleshores dius, home,
D'acord.
Està molt lleig.
And now they feel betrayed and backstabbed.
En pàgina. Esportivament, la gent al xat em deu estar dient absolutament, perquè volen saber moltes coses.
Ilaish Moriba wasn't...
Jo crec que podem anar a buscar algun davanter que vingui lliure. Parla molt de Blauvik. No està mal.
Aigua,
Hòstia. Tocat i enfonsat Romero, Vull dir... Blauvik, aigua. Bé, doncs jo amb aquest titular ja en tinc prou.
No, un gran jugador,
Però fitxarem un nou, encara que Robert...
You're talking about Blauvik.
Acaba contracte i és un
jugador... I don't know what I want. Why he says water. I guess he doesn't want to say nothing about it.
Per respecte als jugadors...
Are we going to get a number 9?
En aquesta posició no parlaré d'això. Aquí el Deco...
I'm here to talk about that.
És la seva feina, està treballant.
Algun central.
Tot això, per reforçar a l'equip si cal a final de temporada.
We're working on strengthening the squad, reinforcing positions. He's saying, what about in defense?
Per tant, no tenim una obligació perantòria de fitxar. No tenim una necessitat de fitxar. El que sí que
we don't have a big necessity to sign,
s'han d'anar reforçant,
but we need to strengthen and improve the squad.
El Cancelo ho està fent fantàsticament bé.
Deco's doing a great job.
Prodigiosa. Mira, jo el Cancelo ara, cada vegada que penso en ell, i aquella pilota que va caure del cel, dels núvols, i que la va amorteir
amb
una elegància.
A ball that came falling from the sky and he controlled it with one touch.
I un Cancelo que té...
Who's that? Either talking about Cubarsí or Gerard Martínez, not talking about Cancelo.
Que li van fer el penal i el Lamine, doncs, amb un exercici de maduresa absoluta, va fer...
Lamine showing maturity, stepping up to the plate to take that penalty in the 94th minute.
Tot això és el que m'agrada avui a mi del Barça.
All of that is what I love about this Barça.
El que els agrada és això. I han de viure el Barça desacomplexadament. Que d'aquestes generacions que ens segueixen ha de sortir el nou president del Barça.
This new generation
un president del Barça que haurà
of Barça doesn't have any complexes.
Jo estic preparat, D'aquí 6 anys poder estic preparat. Li planto cara, poder,
They need a good president to lead them into this new era.
Kings League d'en Piqué, però ha fet un màster. Jo li faria feina,
molt preparat.
I aguantaria una mica més el debat a vegades,
Et veig molt preparat, et veig incontestablement barcelonista, que això sempre ens agrada, als culers.
M'hauria de treure les ulleres quan fes el debat amb vostè, perquè...
Tens perfil de...
He's saying, I guess, jokingly, I'm going to present, I'm ready to debate you, I'll take off my glasses if I ever debate you.
Sí. Hi ha molta gent molt emprenyada amb vostès pels viatges del Barça.
Ho recuperem, això ho reiniciem. Mira, tot va lligat amb el tema econòmic.
Ostres.
The away fans traveling with the team to away games. He's saying we're going to recuperate that as well.
Sitges, Vilafranca, Mollerussa, Tortosa.
Laporta on campaign, baby.
Tarragona.
A Mercabarna, al Bar Bocata de Barcelona.
Torni, Bar Bocata. Què li paga el Bar Bocata? Crespo, per favor, uns macarrons diumenge, per cert, ja que hi som. Ja que hem fet la publicitat, hem vist uns macarrons diumenge.
El que és cert és que vam passar-nos-ho molt bé, no? Hem anat a 15 llocs diferents durant aquests 25 dies de campanya. Hem fet entrevistes, hem fet debats, hem fet de tot. I aquí, doncs, ho he anat explicant. Reactivarem l'FCB desplaçament perquè...
I don't know why Romero was asking about Blau Beach, because as far as I'm concerned, last time I read, he was going to extend his contract with Juve, but I'm not as in the know as these guys, obviously.
A mesura que hem anat recuperant l'economia, doncs s'han
He's
anat
saying,
oferint...
as soon as we have the club's economy, financial state fully sanitized, we can focus on that. And we need to do that.
Ho he dit, o ahir ho vaig dir, els socis no abonats, doncs a les entrades han de tenir un descompte d'un 50%. Això, doncs, perquè no s'ha fet...
Socios with a seat, members with a seat will have a 50% discount.
Estàvem en un procés de transició que hem hagut de compaginar tot el que heu compatibilitzat, tot el que era els ingressos, que estàvem en una situació de salvament del club, amb doncs, els drets dels socis o els serveis que volíem donar als socis.
We want to, of course, give our members the best services.
Ja ho he dit, hi haurà doncs, el 80% de l'aforament del Barça serà de socis abonats, hi haurà un mínim de 5.000 socis del Barça que estan a la llista d'espera que s'incorporaran a l'abonament.
5 million socios are on the waiting list, and we will offer them the abonnement, the membership to opt for this package.
No apujarem el preu de l'abonament, només farem...
We don't want to have the membership quote go up.
Perquè li he tallat molt. Diu, Romero, estàs molt fontista, perquè estàs tallant molt el president. Dic, bueno, perquè vull ser incisiu, perquè després em diuen que sóc molt partidista amb vostè. Dic, bueno, què vol que li diguin?
Romero saying that he's getting comments online that he's too fontista because he's being harsh on Laporta. I don't think so.
Per damunt de tot, sí, per damunt de tot. Miri, Marc Mundet, un gran del món del bàsquet, vostè sempre ha sostingut que per afrontar el nou Palau calia deixar 2-3 anys amb l'estadi acabat. Diu, això serà així o existeix la possibilitat...
Question about the Palau, when it will get renovated. Laporta has previously said that he will start the Palau renovations where the basketball team, the futsal and the roller hockey team play, and the handball. He said previously that 2-3 years after the Camp Nou will be finished, he will then focus on the Palau. I think that's less interesting for most of you. You don't really care about the other sporting teams. So I'm going to take a quick moment here while he's answering the question about the Palau to hit the like button. Hit me up with that like button. Daniel, thank you for your questions. I'm going to get to them at the end of this interview to make sure that I'm not missing anything that is super telling, important statements that I want to communicate to all of you Barça fans or Madridistas living around the globe, not necessarily privy to the information that comes out of Catalunya. So here we are, the spot for Barça fans around the globe that want to get a little bit closer information from the source and feel a little bit closer and more tightly involved in these presidential elections. Let me see where he's at. Xavi Pascual, he's very proud of how he's coaching the basketball team. Daniel, let me take a question quickly. I do wish we had democratic elections over at the Capitol. It's interesting seeing you guys have these, but isn't it obvious Laporta is going to win regardless? I don't see Font getting much support. Yeah, it is. I am also proud that we have these elections. Florentino, the dictator, the last dictator in football, has had a stronghold of his position for over 2 decades. Can you imagine? Thank you for the likes. That's what I like to see. Keep hitting the like, keep hitting subscribe, and the bell notifications. We do live streams, we do edited content, interviews, reviews, previews, and all that good stuff. Go over to patreon.com/dspot as well to support this channel and get access to exclusive, never before seen, only on the platform type content. Florentino Perez, over 2 decades of dictatorship, a rule over his club. It's basically his club now. The nepotism, if we criticize Laporta for it here with Barça, it's even to a greater extent and extreme for the Juats. And can you imagine there are Madridistas that have never seen another president other than Florentino Perez? It's shameful, really. It's crazy. He puts the parameters, the requirements, the criteria to even be a president-elect at such a level that it's basically impossible for anyone, even nationally, to oppose or to confront and to be in contention of becoming a Real Madrid president. So, yeah, that's your problem, guys. That's something that I enjoy this democratic process. I like having these debates. It forces also the presidents to do their utmost best. Are these the 2 best dream candidates? Absolutely not. Both have massive flaws. We know a lot of the flaws of Laporta, and a lot of the criticism that I've aimed on this channel his way, I think, has been fairly placed. But out of the 2, in my opinion, again, he's the better, lesser evil, and also the better prepared, quite frankly. He saved us twice from the most darkest chapter of our history, the post-Gaspar era, the post-Bartomeu Rosé era. And he did so, especially the first time around, in flying colors. The second time around, he could have done things better. But if it's between him and Font, somebody who is just not a likable person, quite despicable, I'm sorry to say, in my opinion. I'm sure he's a great businessman and he wants the best for the club, but he's just not somebody that resonates. And like somebody mentioned as well, I'm scared of a Bartomeu 2.0 when it comes to Victor Font. Let's tune in and hear what Laporta is talking about.
S'ha de tenir en compte, en València, s'ha de tenir en compte. I ho estem treballant. Després, el futbol femení, que es parla tant...
Talking about the different sections, the women's team.
Hauria de no penalitzar.
We shouldn't stop their progress. That's a little bit of a... No, talking about futsal and hockey. Like, when it comes to the women's team, there's a lot of controversy there, because right now, from key players, I think Putellas, even Bonmatí, and the coach, Pérez Romeo, and others are not even sure that they are going to be able to extend their contracts to stay at the club. So there's going to be an interesting summer for the women's team.
Tot I així, entenem que ens penalitza massa i aleshores que hi hagués una bonificació depenent de moltes coses, no? Però això ho estem treballant i no ho veig impossible el que traiem algun avantatge a l'hora de fer aquest tipus de reivindicacions.
És que si no, al final esteu agafats pels collons d'aquesta gent i us condiciona molt el tema del fair play. I després volem fer...
All it is, of course, is directly linked
però vas amb desavantatge amb els clubs que no tenen...
financial fair play rules.
També t'ajuda a ser més imaginatiu, a tenir més audàcia,
We need to be more imaginative, more creative.
Ser més, diguem-ne,
We need to be more efficient. the way we function as a club.
M'escriu un soci, no sé la gent que ens està veient perquè no vull mirar gaire el mòbil perquè després em diuen que miro molt el mòbil, però m'escriu un soci. Romero, li pot preguntar al president, el meu avi és soci des de fa uns quants anys, creu que és el número 5.000, imagina't. Tenia tercera graderia i encara no ha fet res amb el carnet perquè no sap quan estarà l'estadi complet. Quina solució se li podria donar o què es podria donar a aquest soci?
Again, a question that is less interesting to the international fan. It's about a member, her grandfather being a member number 5,000 that always had a seat in the Camp Nou but hasn't renewed his membership because he doesn't know if he's going to get the same seat assigned as in the past. What's up with that? A lot of socios are in a similar pickle. But yeah, let me take a moment here to address some more questions because like I said, this is less interesting for the international viewer, seeing as it doesn't affect you. So Daniel saying, when it comes to Laporta versus Font, let me just finish that one because I digressed a bit. It's Laporta. It's going to be Laporta. I think the race will be closer than we had imagined in the beginning. I do think that, but I cannot imagine a Victor Font winning come Sunday and, snatching away the presidency. Especially not, somebody else said, I think it was Jaume Llopis. I want to give you some quotes as well that kind of go against Laporta's aura and his the propaganda, right? His populist, if you will, populistic statements that talk very badly about the state of the club's economy. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to let you listen into that. But I just can't see the majority of the Barça members say, nah, we're going to go another direction. And the reason for that is because of Hansi Flick in the first team, The ball's getting into the back of the net. We're defending treble champions. Yes, we got knocked out of the Copa del Rey, but in the season overall so far, it's not, dire enough to cause an absolute dramatic and extreme overhaul of the Barça presidency, in my opinion. Okay, still talking about the whole membership thing. Appreciate the translation on the go. I know it's not easy. Yeah, Daniel, I mean, this is what I did for my job, for nearly 10 years at La Liga and Barça, so I am used to it by now. But I did realize that sometimes when I do this in the past, that the audio, if I have it on full blast so I can hear it properly, then as I'm talking at the same time, my voice gets drowned out. That's kind of the struggle because I have to keep playing with the volumes here. Yo, Diego, I hope you're good. Who are you hoping for to win the presidential race? Do both candidates present ideas you align with? Curious to know. A la Madrid. Thank you, Daniel, the Madridista minion on this channel. Everybody, welcome, of course. This is a place where we show respect if respect is shown. We treat people the way we want to be treated. Yeah, I think that's pretty clear though, Daniel. I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm a full-blown Laportista, but I am a Barcelonista. So my interest is Barça, and I'm kind of like, why break what has proven to work with the hope that we can improve on these improvements? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gotten better since Bartomeu. Has it been amazing? Has it been its best? No, we need to get better still. So there's a lot of work to be done and improvements to be made, but at least Laporta has shown to be competent enough and to surround himself with the right people in order to bring us back into the right direction. And listen, I've gotten calls from the Font camp as well to help them out. There was a time where I was thinking that Victor Font was the right option in the last elections, as a matter of fact. The last ones that I voted in as well. After 2 decades of being a member, I've stopped being a Barça socio for personal reasons. But the last time I went in, my heart was set to vote for Font. And then, my head was set to vote for Victor Font, and then my heart took over, and I voted for Laporta in the end, and I think it was the right decision. And this time around, I'm more the same. Más de lo mismo. A ver, ¿de qué hablamos, chicos?
unes pomes i unes peres boníssimes.
We're talking about apples and pears. Delicious apples and pears. We're on the topic of food now.
Estarem pendents. El xat em diu de sotoatraco. No, però de sotoatraco no en parlarem.
Sotoatraco referee.
Lo de la coberta, Joan. Quina coberta? Què és lo de la coberta? Ah, la coberta de l'estadi.
The stadium cover.
A veure si la podem fer a l'estiu del 27. Si no la podem
At the end of 2027.
Doncs o l'acabaríem a l'hivern del 28, però al principi jo crec que si tot va bé,
if everything goes well,
perquè si no em diuen, vas dir, no.
I need to be careful because otherwise they say, you said at the end of 2027.
Doncs necessitem 4 mesos per fer la coberta.
We need 4 months to do the cover of the stadium, the roof.
Hi ha una part que s'ha de fer.
Em diuen...
So, you heard it here, end of 2027, tentatively.
Han estat difamant el nom del Barça amb el tema de Negreira.
Defamation, smear campaigns with regards to the Negreira case.
Que finalment, doncs, passi el que pensem que passarà, que el jutge finalment absolgui el Barça.
We hope that in the end the judge will absolve Barça. That's what we think.
El sumari, doncs, d'alguna manera quedin retratats.
We hope that those that are behind these smear campaigns will quedar retratados, will have egg in their face.
Davant de qui ha difamat el Barça.
Those who defame Barça.
Ha calumniat el Barça.
We know who are behind it, and there's interest behind doing so.
La de l'Isidro. Isidro, perdó.
Sí, ja ho he manifestat. És a dir, una denúncia plena de falsedats i de mentides que, doncs, darrere
the Barça member that put that tried to sue Laporta.
Corre cuita als mitjans per donar credibilitat a la denúncia d'aquest home.
Això, doncs, a més, it has already been revealed, his identity, and there's no credibility behind it. It's a guy that comes from Toledo. He became a Barça member just the day before putting in the lawsuit against Laporta. He's a Vox voter. You can't make this shit up. Vox is the extreme right party here in Spain. So somebody who lives in Toledo, which is close to Madrid, votes extreme right Vox, becomes a Barça member, then puts in a lawsuit. Absolute jokes. Absolute jokes. You see the shit that, like, you know, all the tailwinds that comes Barça's that Barça have to deal with.
Doncs s'ha demostrat que volien donar-los uns indicis de criminalitat i ha quedat com un mantra que tota...
They wanted to link me with criminal activities and nothing has been proven.
Per tant, la candidatura del Font és a dir que això, a fer proclames catastrofistes...
Font was behind it, he says.
A fer demagogia amb la mentida...
Font's campaign is based on lies.
A posar pals a les rodes i per això penso que és un tecnòcrata que no podem posar les mans al Barça.
He's a technocrat and Barça cannot end up in his hands.
D'aquesta manera. I seria, doncs, tornar... Ens destrossarien tot el que hem construït entre tots.
They would destroy everything that we have built so far.
Espero que, doncs, els que et segueixen ho vegin i aquest diumenge es mobilitzin per anar a votar, que no es quedin a casa.
We want Sunday mass mobilization. We want mass people to come, the masses to come out to vote, so that there's no any doubt, not any doubt.
Tot el dia oferint senyal, ja que Barça TV no hi és, sé que ho farà YouTube.
Ens trobarem, perquè jo també vull...
Barça TV or Barça YouTube will cover the elections. Will it be the whole day?
Però tenen allà com un box, no? Els hem preparat.
Em sembla que tenim una carpa cada candidatura i vaja, s'ha fet sempre així, suposo que farà així.
Molt bé. Doncs diumenge, des de 2:45, Jijantes estarà en directe tot el dia. Per anar rematant, Rashford.
So, 8:45.
Rashford, tothom amb en Rashford.
There'll be streaming, there'll be a broadcast. Rashford is the next topic, let's see.
I d'assistències i gols, que estem molt satisfets, ho està fent molt bé.
We're very happy with him, he's doing a great job.
El Deco final, no, però és que a més podríem trobar altra fórmula, podríem... A veure, amb el Rashford jo crec que el que hem d'aconseguir és potser perllongar més aquesta situació.
De sessió?
Ja ho veuríem. Depèn de com estigui les possibilitats de fer els ajustaments que el Deco vol fer.
He's saying that we can find other ways to sign him as well, perhaps another loan deal, but all that depends on what Deco tells us.
Rashford, tots estem molt contents amb ell.
We're very happy with Rashford.
Compte, Aquesta és nova perquè aquesta no la sabíem.
A lo millor hi ha diverses fórmules. A lo millor podem arribar amb el Manchester United a un acord de que part de l'opció de compra doncs la fem efectiva i...
Maybe we can
hi ha fórmules.
Molt bé.
Pay some money up front and anyway, just talking about the logistics on how they could potentially pull off a Marcus Rashford transfer.
Està molt per la fundació, té molta sensibilitat social, ens agrada molt el Rashford.
They like how he's being integrated into the Catalan Barcelona culture, Barça culture, city and club. He does do a lot of work with the foundation, though. I like Rashford a lot. All right, they're going to play a game of footballin. While they do that, I'm happy to entertain more questions. I want to go over some of these statements from Jijantes, where he talks about the dire state of the club from a financial standpoint. There he is. Let's have a listen here, because I can't imagine this being very serious if they're going to be talking, if they're going to be playing footballin, some foosball. All right, let's have a listen. This is Jijantes, for context, a very respected, reputable economist here in Spain, in Catalonia, who now lives in Germany, but he's been, I think he formed part of prior junta directivas, prior board of directors of the Barça. I think it was Rosé, which might explain as well why he's so vindictive. All right, let's have a listen. I'll translate.
Y además estas elecciones están adulteradas.
So he's saying these elections are adulterated. They're not democratic elections. Because the electronic vote and the overseas vote, the email, the vote-in, mail vote-in are not being accepted. So he's saying, I cannot vote because I live in Germany. Quite honestly, I don't think, like, to call the elections adulterated because of this, I find a stretch, because all of the online, the polls, the encuestas, the polls have shown that Laporta is still head over heels in front of Victor Font in the polls. So it's a stretch. It's a stretch to call it adulterated. You can call it not complete or inefficient, but to go so far to say they're adulterated, Trumpian. So I can't vote because I live far and I wouldn't get there on time. They're discriminatory elections. He's saying if you don't live in Catalonia, you can't vote. Anti-democratic and adulterated discriminatory elections. Now, the economics thing. He's saying these elections, Laporta is not going to win. So I'm assuming he's going out on a limb here and assuming that Laporta will win. He's saying it won't be because of Laporta, it will be because of Hansi Flick. I heard him say that before, and that makes perfect sense. It's not a massive take neither. It's a very straightforward, logical take, if anything. El Grupo Godó, Mundo Deportivo, RACU, Vanguardia. They have helped him in his campaign. En TV3, the Catalan Public TV. He's got Junts, the political party, supporting him.
Y ahí entra también la paradoja que Junts, que es un partido independentista, resulta que en el Barça manda un fascista.
Caramba. O sea, que manda a Echevarría, Alejandro, que manda en el Barça, ¿no?
es el que manda. Y no tiene ningún cargo, ¿no?
Sí.
That's a bit nasty. Alejandro Echeverría is saying it's hypocritical. It's ironic that Junts, who are a separatista, independentista, a political group that want the independence of Catalonia, are big backers of Laporta when the person in charge of the club is a fascist. He says that because Alejandro Echeverría, the right-hand man of Laporta, the one that Xavi claimed makes all of the main decisions there. He is his ex-brother-in-law as well. His family have a past with Franco. Now, does that automatically mean that he himself, Alejandro, is a franquista, a fascist? Maybe, maybe not. You know, maybe Llopis knows him, and maybe that's how his political alliances and his political preferences, let's say, swing that way. I don't know. I don't know Echeverria personally. I would never say that. So it's a bit of a low blow, if you ask me, to dig up your grandfather's political stance and put that on the grandkids as well. I would never do that.
Independentista, ahora esconde las estrellas de la estelada porque
So he's still talking about that.
No hay ningún signo independentista hasta el punto que en el palco del Fútbol Club Barcelona antes se llamaba el palco de Suñol. Suñol fue un presidente fusilado por el franquismo de Barcelona. Pues ahora han quitado esto del palco. Bueno,
so
dicho esto,
nasty lies. The Suñol Yoja, the Suñol like VIP room in the Camp Nou. You know, the many rooms have like you have the Joan Gamper room, etc. The Suñol Sala hall has been taken away momentarily because right now the restructuring of the Camp Nou is not entirely done yet, so they haven't put all the names back in place yet. Obviously, Suñol was the Barça president, the martyr, some say, that got fusilado. They got, how do you say fusilado? Fusilado, when you stand against the wall and executed by the Franco regime. Interestingly enough, and again, go to patreon.com/dspot, because I had Miguel Pereira on, the esteemed author, journalist, and just fantastic person all around, very knowledgeable football historian, you could call him. He actually called bullshit on that original story. It's a myth, saying that Suñol got executed due to a mistake. It was a pure coincidental, or let's call it an accident, because during that time, the Civil War, you had the Republicans, and the monarchs, let's say, and he, in that moment, on a visit in Madrid, threw up the wrong sign and got executed by a mistake, by confusion. You should listen to the podcast. I'm not doing any justice, and I'm not here to go into deep history lessons neither, but it was very interesting, his take. And he says it's proven, if you go through the historical archives at the time, the papers, etc., that has been more than proven. I think also Sid Lowe wrote about it in Fear and Loathing La Liga. But anyway, let's continue listening. He's being very dishonest, though, here. Llama Llopis.
Se manifieste claramente a favor de Laporta, lo
cual
es
clearly backing Laporta.
Que su sueldo no se lo paga Laporta.
Claro, se lo paga el Barça. Claro. A todos.
You're saying Laporta is not the one that pays his salary. Barça do. Flick shouldn't be so outspoken. Of course, Flick is going to back Laporta, as he should.
Es más, cuando digo que Laporta está dentro aún, resulta que el día después de dimitir, que ya no era nada, se presentó en la ciudad deportiva saludando a los jugadores, pidiéndoles el voto a los jugadores, pero un día después de que ya no era presidente. Entonces, por ejemplo, los otros candidatos, ¿por qué no tuvieron opción de ir ahí? Bueno, pues esto es que realmente el club probablemente, si gana Laporta, probablemente estas elecciones serán las últimas que celebraremos en los 127 años de historia del club. Porque dentro de 2 o 3 años la situación ya será insostenible.
O sea, tú lo tienes claro como yo que tiene que...
He's saying these will be if Laporta wins, these will probably be the last elections in our entire history, in our 127-year history, because of the disastrous management of the club of Laporta, and that will continue.
Tiene una idea, el Barcelona no tiene otra viabilidad económica, otra salida. Porque es que nadie, todos lo niegan, escúchame. Todos lo niegan. Y vamos a ver, pero es que no me engañan. ¿Pero tú crees que son capaces de engañar a los socios que tiene el Barcelona? A los miles de socios del Barcelona. Son capaces de...
Because the financial struggles of Barça are being denied, and everyone is turning a blind eye. The socios are being lied to. But you and I know the real struggles, and the financial state of the club is an absolute ruin. Is he able to cheat? They lie scandalously. Let's talk about the economic state.
Han comprado a un profesor de una universidad, un economista, profesor de economía, y lo han comprado.
He's saying they've bought, keeps insisting in the word bought, a economic professor, I guess, to lie, to make up numbers. This person says that the accounting for Barça is better. The Barça's financial state is better than it was in 2021. He's lying. 5 years of losses, counting the famous palancas, the levers.
Ya estarían cesados y respondiendo con su propio patrimonio, porque los estatutos del Barcelona
decían
que si una directiva tenía 2 años seguidos de
he's also putting in his own financial. Hey, Juno, need to eat it. Sorry, my dog is trying to chew through the water hose. He's saying that also he's putting in his own personal money into this.
Automáticamente cesaban y respondían con su patrimonio. 5 años seguidos de pérdidas que no han sido en cualquier...
5 years of losses.
Si hay un presidente o un CEO que tiene 5 años
that haven't been seriously accounted for.
No llega al quinto, ¿no? Dos. Fondos propios negativos. ¿Qué quiere decir esto para que lo entienda la gente?
Fondos negativos.
Es decir, que las obligaciones de pago de todo son el pasivo superior al activo. O sea, los fondos propios negativos. La empresa en una empresa mercantil estaría en liquidación. 2.
He's saying any company that would have negative numbers would have already been basically bankrupt, called insolvent, or been declared insolvent. Gaspar and Laporta, I want to hear that. Let me just finish Yoppies, and then we'll get back.
¿Qué quiere decir esto? Que las obligaciones de pago a corto plazo,
the short-term payments,
a los ingresos previstos a corto plazo. Por tanto, lo que hay que pagar a corto plazo es superior a lo que hay que ingresar a corto plazo. ¿Y cómo lo solucionan esto? Que es la cuarta.
So he's saying that let me repeat that. He's saying that the short-term payments, so of the loans, are superior than the actual loans that they're getting. Let me get that straight.
Las obligaciones de pago a corto plazo,
so the paybacks are higher than the revenue, than the income that the club is making in the short term. How do they solve that? With more debt, racking up the debt.
También casi nunca además separan la deuda del Barça, dice que se autopagará, bueno, ya lo veremos.
The debt will self-finance itself.
Con los intereses se irá a 4.000, que es imposible de devolver.
Saying once it gets to 4 billion, it'll be impossible to go back.
se gana Laporta, dentro de 2 años pueden pasar muchas cosas.
In 2 years, if Laporta wins, a lot of things will happen.
Que ahora están, por ejemplo, en proceso juicios por estafa a Laporta, que está en proceso, están vigentes.
Es verdad que está judicializado, efectivamente, muchos asuntos.
He's talking about the outstanding case that Laporta has. I'm assuming they're referring to the Reus case.
Como cosacos, toda la prensa de Barcelona. Bueno, la prensa de Barcelona deportiva, no, yo no diré que está vendida, pero está regalada.
He's saying that he's getting free press from the Catalan news outlets.
Que, bueno, les interesa estar bien con el Barcelona.
It's in their interest to be on good terms with the club.
Y está regalada a Laporta. Por tanto, habrá estos juicios, habrá la demanda del socio que decíamos.
A la demanda del socio no va a llegar a nada.
Que socio, hacía 20 años que era socio.
I don't know. I don't like listening to Yopis. He's going on and on about, honestly, now even bringing up cases that have been already shown that we were just alluding to. This socio, this member that put in a lawsuit against Laporta. Turns out the member is one from Toledo, two just became a socio again 1 day before putting in the lawsuit, clearly looking for headlines, and three, he's a Vox voter, again, from the region of Madrid. Clearly somebody that is not working in the interest of the club.
Pero entonces saldrán muchas cosas.
Saying a lot of things will come out.
En 2 años Laporta esté en la UCI o en Soto del Real.
En la UCI.
Jesus. He's saying, my prediction is that in 2 years, Laporta will or be in Soto Real, in jail, or in la UCI, in, what do you call the UCI in English again? It's when you're in the hospital about to die. When you're in is it ER? No, I'm not sure. In la UCI. In like the panic room, let's say, where you need resuscitation, etc. This is clearly personal. He's sounding very vindictive.
¿Quién es Oriol? Dices, hablas de Oriol. El que ha fichado Laporta. El que ha comprado Laporta, dices. ¿Quién gana las elecciones?
Este señor dice que esto está muy bien, porque dice que la plantilla se ha revalorizado, que vale 1.100 millones. Sí, hoy vale 1.100 millones, seguro, sí. Pero esto no se puede vender, toda esta plantilla.
You're talking about the worth of the first team, which is over $1 billion.
Y además no son más de 1.100 millones más que el 2021, porque cuidado, la plantilla del 2021 estaba Messi, estaba Piqué.
He's saying yes, but it's an asset that you can't sell.
Jordi Alba,
estaba Xavi, estaba Iniesta.
No, Xavi y Iniesta no estaban.
Es verdad, sí.
Y luego también dice, claro, datos ciertos, ¿no? Que Forres ha valorado el Barça en 5.000 millones. Cierto. Pero los que tenemos experiencia en compra y venta de empresas, una empresa vale lo que vale, los 5.000 millones, menos la deuda.
He's saying a club is worth whatever its assets minus its debt.
Cualquier jeque árabe podrá comprar el fútbol club.
He's saying, so based on that, whatever, any sheikh could come in and buy Barça, Fútbol Club Barcelona on a bargain deal. En fin, bueno. What up, Ramon? Nice to see you here on the live stream as well. There's still plenty of you watching that haven't smashed that like button, so I do want to ask you and press you, beg you, plead you to help the YouTube algorithm know that this is the spot for Barça fans and for the casual Madridista as well that wants to get an inside scoop and a peek and a look on all things Barça, what is happening in this case in the presidential race. Let's tune back in with Jijantes, because an exchange between two presidents, President Laporta and Gaspar, is an interesting little... we can be a fly on the wall. It's an interesting conversation. Ramon, I'll get to your comments in a minute. Oh, Laporta's going to cry.
No, perquè...
Oh, damn. Laporta. My man. I love it when he's about to cry. You ain't got to cry, man. You ain't got to cry. So emotional. You can tell those hormones, those age hormones, the female hormones kicking in.
S'emociona...
No, perquè...
Damn.
Han estat dos presidents del Barça que durant aquests 5 anys han tingut una comprensió infinita.
You're two presidents of Barça
Hem tingut que compensar...
that have a great love for the club.
No, deixa't d'històries. Aquí
This institution.
Però abans de que, com ell ja ha tingut oportunitat...
It cracks me up when Laporta is on the verge of tears every time.
Oh, però esperis, home, que s'està emocionant amb Reina. Acabi.
No, perquè l'Enric Reina era un home molt charmant.
They're remembering Reina, who of course passed away just overnight.
El fill... Era una persona molt entranyable.
Bueno, Reina, who during the Gaspar era had to, of course, step in emergency mode when Gaspar was axed and finalized his mandate. Ramon saying, interesting comments from Xavi earlier this week. Messi still looks so large in topics for the... Messi's not going to have an influence, Ramon. Font tries to make the Messi topic a factor, let's say, in these elections, but it's not. It was clearly, the Xavi timing of Xavi's timing of that interview was clearly motivated to have an influence in these elections, but it's not. The Messi factor is a non-factor, really. Of course, it's a sore wound and a scar, but it will be dealt with in due time. And
agafo els 5 anys, que són els que es tenen que decidir, que han basat en aquests 5 anys, esportivament, socialment i econòmicament.
He's saying in 5 years we're better socially, economically.
Algú dels candidats és ficar-se amb el Deco, que és la parella de ball, no sé si és el que és...
Deco is the dancing partner of Flick. So, from a sporting perspective, a change in presidency will be very dangerous.
Jo el primer, l'estadi nou, tal. No és veritat, no s'ha fet un estadi. S'ha fet un estadi nou. No s'ha reformat. No, s'ha fet un estadi nou.
It wasn't a reform, it was a complete new stadium.
I a sobre s'ha fet un estadi nou. I això l'ha fet la Junta que ha acabat fa uns dies i que ara es torna a presentar.
That was all that was done by this current board.
Anem a fer una cosa.
So, Gaspar clearly Laporta backer. No surprise. Talking about Darren Dean's commission, all that was talked about and clarified.
Anem a fer una cosa. Jo me'n vaig amb el senyor Gaspar, perquè té ganes de xerrar una mica. Li agraeixo. Demà cap a S'Agaró, tranquil·lament?
Sí.
A desconnectar una mica.
A desconnectar i per la nit he d'anar a l'aniversari de la dona d'un amic.
Molt bé.
La dona d'Enric Masip.
Molt bé.
Per
molts anys.
I després doncs, ja passarem, veurem a veure si l'Elche ens dona una alegria.
Vale, bueno, let's see if Elche can beat Real Madrid. Let me have a look here. Who Barça are playing. Well, we're playing Sevilla, of course.
Té clara l'hora que anirà a votar?
Que és tan femenino.
L'Enric, doncs em sembla que és a 1:15.
Bueno, ya está. Oye, chicos, I'm going to call it quits here after an hour and nearly 20 minutes of live broadcasting. Thank you for tuning in. And don't forget, besides subscribing, besides liking, besides commenting, thank you for all of you who did hit me up with the comments. Make sure that you hit the bell notification so you don't lose out on all of that good content. Go and watch my immediate reactions as well from the game against Newcastle. We're going to get more analysis, previews, reviews coming up next week ahead of Sevilla in the presidential elections, or throughout those, I should say, as well as in the post-game come Tuesday. Hopefully we can celebrate a big win, a convincing win that will set up a very juicy quarterfinal clash against most likely the Colchoneros, and will be a great rematch opportunity to get some revenge over that Copa del Rey exit that they handed to us a couple weeks ago. So finally, if you want to support this channel, wrong cameras. If you want to support this channel, make sure you do so by going over to patreon.com/dspot. Dspot for Barça fans. Dspot for anyone interested in what goes on throughout these presidential elections as well. Again, thank you ever so much. And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, good folks. Have a great weekend.